Everybody on the board should voice their opinion or feelings before we take a vote.
Right.
So anybody that's watching it on TV will be able to hear the different
We're
opinions.
and I'm starting.
I'm sorry.
No, that's all right. I just want to say I'm formally starting the meeting. So, because it is 3 o'clock.
Okay,
So, and
I'll be quiet.
we can spend a long time. I don't know. I hope he's coming. I didn't call to confirm, but he had said he'd be here. So Jim had said he'd be here again if the board had questions. So I'm expecting him to show up. But I could be wrong. All right. So we've been called to order at 3 p.m. And we have one member absent, and that's Joe, because he's out of the country visiting his son.
Lovely.
Which is very nice. I'm happy for him.
Good place to be.
It is a good place to be.
That was great.
And we have staff here, Amy and Liz. Thank you very much for being here. And I understand that, I heard that Sandra Casal from the Friends was here last week, Monday,
Right.
for our meeting, and we had a little confusion.
It was 2 different dates were in the broadcast.
You're right, so, and she couldn't be here today, so I'm sorry, and I apologize for that. Hey, errors happen. It was an error, but we always meet the second Monday of the month unless it's a holiday, so people, I guess, need to get used to that, so, anyway. So we do have a quorum. It is an open meeting, and it's a recorded meeting. Have to say that every time, so. So now we're down to announcements. Do we have any announcements? Do you want to make the announcement about this article, just as a separate thing?
I don't care.
Not the article, but the, on the
Yes.
planning board, yes. It would be a good time, I think, to call attention to it, where you can find out. The presentation, Judy Barrett, let me explain a little. Last Wednesday night, the town, that's the town administrator, and 3 select board members and the planning board were all present for an explanation session about the Articles 12 and 13 on the town warrant for our town meeting in May. And this is all about the need for deeply affordable senior housing in
Rental.
town. Rental housing, right. I gotta make sure I got all the words in.
Yes.
And that's what it is about. And people are having a very difficult time understanding the whole, both of the articles. It's very confusing, it's very complex. And I've been preaching that to all of you anyway, so you should be, you've heard me say that many times. It is very complex. One of the things last Wednesday night, though, Judy Barrett, and the Barrett Group is a consulting group that the planning board has worked with ever since I can remember. I don't know for how long, but a long time. They have worked with the Barrett Group for get advice for whatever. They're a professional consulting group. And they presented a, somebody's up, come in. Hi. Welcome. You staying? Oh, good. You can, okay, she's got to be LCTV. She's trying to go in there. Yep. So anyway, Judy Barrett did a wonderful presentation on the screen about senior housing affordability needs. And go take it away, if you would, for this part of it,
March.
the announcement. Sue.
Just to, right before you start, Jim cannot come. He has a family thing that happened. Marin Toohill is coming.
Oh, great. Well, that's wonderful.
Good.
Mallory is good, too, because she's got all the information up here.
Yeah,
So,
she's amazing.
she is
She's
amazing.
amazing.
She's our town planner, for anybody that doesn't know her.
She's fantastic.
She is. Go ahead. Sue,
Okay.
because she found this, and this is a good source of information for anybody that's watching, and I just want to get it out. It's on,
It's this is on the planning board, no, the planning department's website. If you go to the
town website.
town website and you go under departments and you find planning, it takes you right to this. And on that page is the entire report that the Barrett Group did. It's there's text about it and all the charts that she showed. And she showed all the charts and explained what they all meant with number of seniors and just a whole host of information about senior housing needs in Littleton. And I did not attend the meeting, but I did watch the meeting live. And then I rewatched it in order to copy down the charts because I liked the information. But now I've found the complete report that is the charts and the supporting text. And that's available on Planning Department's website. And it's 10 pages, so 5 double-sided pages. And it has all the information plus background and explanations. I didn't get it all read today, but it's there.
It's very complex because
It
there's different levels of affordability. And that people don't even understand. So,
Exactly.
Yes.
And that's the other thing. I think people get very confused in trying to understand when any boards talk about AMI, which is area media income, and the percentages, and what does that mean? And it's different, it's very different for rental and ownership. And the project that the town administrator is proposing is only for rental, it's only for seniors, and it's only for deeply affordable or a deep need and lower income rates. If you start to try to learn all about what AMIs mean for rental and ownership and all the different levels and how they're determined, you're going to feel it's confusing. But if you stick to just what this project is about, and this gives lots of supporting information.
And I just was notified that Maren's coming, so maybe we're gonna just do general announcements
Yeah.
now.
Okay.
And once she gets here, we can start, because there are many key points, I think, that
Oh,
we need
yes,
to
I wasn't-
emphasize. Yeah.
I just,
Thank you, no, it's all pertinent.
I just
because
know
we
that
need to
every-
wrap our heads around it.
I know that everybody, the minute you start to talk to other people about it, and I have found this too, they immediately shut you off because they say, it's too confusing, I don't understand.
And
it."
there's too much going on, we can't afford anymore.
You just stick to
you
the
know,
one,
da-da-da-da.
you stick to the one topic. Okay, I'll
Yep.
stop there then.
Okay, so, and are there any general announcements to make?
Only that there are two little places to put food that people that need food would like to go visit, and that is one at the Baptist Church and one is right outside here. And
Right outside the patio here.
Right.
Yep. Thank you. That's very true.
it's
Anyone else have any announcements? Okay, I think an announcement should be that everybody should plan on attending town meeting.
Oh,
It is
yes.
May 6th. I just want to mention that. It usually starts at 7, correct?
Tuesday at 7. But there is a 6 o'clock presentation on Shaker Lane School
Right.
for half to 15 minutes to half hour, and then Q&A for until 7 o'clock.
And it's most interesting because the Shaker Lane project definitely is not going to be under the levy. It is going to mean an increase in taxes.
And they've
And Articles 12 and 13 are under the levy, which makes a big difference.
that makes a
too.
huge difference.
Yes, it does. So, and people need to understand that.
And the school, the thing that I saw published somewhere in one of the things I was reading, they're saying at least $1,000 a year increase in your tax, but just the school.
Right, that's right.
Never mind the 2.5% and all of that.
Yeah,
So-
I know. And yes, there is a lot going on. I understand that too, and I understand people's, concern. But that's why I've been trying to get all the facts and figures in my head so that I I feel that I'm making my own competent decision. Anyway, and this meeting today, I hope Maren is coming. I don't know what time she's coming, but anyway, we are charged with making a decision and taking a vote as to whether we are supporting Articles 12 and 13 on the warrant.
Do you have a copy of the actual articles?
No, I don't. I don't think it's been, they're
it's
printed
been
yet.
printed yet.
They're not
At all.
But
posted.
like those,
They're not out yet.
No.
No,
because
Actual
Finance Committee
wording
would have
is
had
not.
them to go over and stuff.
well,
Yeah, but the
They're not-
actual wording
Right.
of what it's going to be
That's,
hasn't been
they've
decided.
been, well, they have been written. Legal
Yes,
counsel
because
last
it-
Wednesday night said that
and
the
they've got-
articles have been written.
and they're going to the printer.
So, but they're not out yet, so I don't know.
I think that would be a big help if we saw the wording.
Well, we
of-
don't, we can't
Yeah,
here today. And we will not be having another meeting
I know,
before May 6th.
I know.
So that's why we need to.
I'm really concerned about everything.
Okay. First of all, why don't we get our business, if there are no other general announcements to make for the public?
I don't have any.
No? Nobody else has one? Okay. Why don't we move on then and do the minutes while we're waiting to see if Maren comes before we start our discussion? So, do you have a copy of the minutes of March 10th? And thank you again, Sue.
I make a motion to accept the
I'll
minutes.
accept them.
I have a correction
Oh, okay.
on number 7A.
7A. Update, senior center project?
Yep.
Okay.
It goes, cutting for the center on Shattuck Street will be on Mary the 16th.
Oh, yes. Thank you, so good. You caught that. I missed that one, too.
I did
All
too.
right, I did too.
I thought you'd catch it by now, Sue.
Wow.
No, I don't read them again after I.
She writes them, and she gets them done like 2 days from now. She'll have them done this week. Sometimes I don't read them for a while. She sends them to me when, so, but, yeah, I missed that, too. Anyone else with a good eye? Have,
I read them at home and I thought, these are fine.
all right, do we want
Sometimes you
to?
read fast, you know.
I know.
It's something like that you don't pick up.
No. So,
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes with the one correction on number 7.
I'll second that.
eliminating the R in the word Mary.
Right, corrected.
Yeah. Okay, we have, who seconded that? I'm
I
sorry.
did.
Marilyn seconded. Thank you, Marilyn. Okay, is there any further discussion? No? Gonna start over here with John?
We don't.
Yes.
We don't need to do.
Oh, that's right, we don't. I just don't want to give that up, I guess. I'm so stubborn about that. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? It's total silence. I think it's a unanimous vote, and we have the minutes approved. So, great. Oh, and look at who walked in
Oh,
the
that's
door.
perfect
She
timing.
probably just got informed she needed to come down here. Maybe.
Sat down at my desk, the reminder was popped up, it's like,
I had just said, why don't we take care of the minutes while we're waiting to see if Maren gets here, and we might as well get that done, and then we can move right into our discussion, and it worked out perfectly.
Yes.
Thank you ever so much. We just took the vote on the minutes, so thank you. All right. Do you, just out of kindness to Maren, I think if you are okay with changing the agenda a little, we can do and you are, Amy and Liz, you both okay? You've got some time?
Yep.
Okay, then we can do the director's report and the outreach court, and the assistant director's report, excuse me, after we're through with our discussion about the Articles 12 and 13 at the town meeting. And we have already talked a little bit about that in the beginning of our meeting, but, and we've decided that we really need to be able to ask questions. People have questions still, and try to get the word out, hopefully. So, do you want to proceed? Who had a question that they wanted? Why don't we, do you want to start and just, we'll chip in? If you raise your hand if you want to speak, and you'll start with Jean, and, you know.
The proposed for deeply affordable for the building here, does that exclude the other levels of low income?
So right now, the proposal, the idea is for up to 60% AMI, so up to that,
The chart,
yeah,
right?
right.
Okay, because on the chart, you got 3 different levels of low income.
Right, just as examples, so, right.
Correct. So you would hope to fulfill it with the lowest amount first and then open it up for the other amounts?
So, right now, the way we're thinking about it is the maximum income would be at the 60% AMI. And so those that qualify up to that amount would have the units, and then those that qualify at up to the 30% would have those units. Don't anticipate any trouble filling it with that.
Okay, so you're setting aside a specific amount of units for 30% and 60%?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's based on the town's need showing that?
Yes.
Judy Barrett reported, the Barrett Group reported that there are 260 households in Littleton with an income, I think, of less than $40,000, if I'm not mistaken, $35,000 to $40,000, something like that. There's a lot of people that have a minimum income.
Yep, and I'm glad that that slide is showing there. It's both that slide and then the other one. One of the other slides.
Look at how good Liz is with her computer.
Oh, sorry.
Trying.
She is.
Sorry about that.
So the cutoff would be at 60%?
Yeah.
Okay.
You want me to go to a chart?
Sure, that one's regional again, so.
And we, before you came, Sue found that whole report that Judy did on your website. And we already made that announcement to people, that they can go on your website and find that report. It was great, her report that night.
Yeah.
So, any other questions along that line for Maren?
Maren, if you're saying, if they're talking about Littleton, but does that mean only Littleton, or do we go out elsewhere
Oh.
first? Because when I asked Jim Duggan last time, I said, can it be only Littleton? And
Yeah.
he said, no.
No.
So that's the same with this deeply affordable, can only be Littleton.
No, there.
I mean, it cannot be
Cannot
only.
be only Littleton.
So then
That
my-
would be in violation of
That's,
federal fair housing
right,
and state fair housing.
that's what I thought. So my taxes would pay for John Jones to come from East Overshoe.
But didn't I
It's not your
hear,
taxes paying for this.
didn't I hear 70%?
So what the town will do is apply for the maximum local preference, which currently is 70%. We were able to get the 70% for a couple of the more recent lotteries. Past, earlier than that, I don't know those details, but
But for this proposed would be at 70%
that would be the request, yeah.
reserved.
Yeah.
That would be the request,
Right, which is,
and they don't have to accept 70%, correct?
the state has offered, has agreed with the 70% of the
Okay.
times that we applied.
Okay.
So it's a little bit better than it used to be, I think, when you think about it.
And it has to do with the racial makeup of those who apply for the units.
And if you listen to Judy's proposal that she made, or report that she gave the other night at that last Wednesday night, she talked so much about, how many, it's primarily, there are a lot of single females that fall into that category. And building anything for a female, and a single person is a lot different than the highly affordable homes that are built, type of thing. So people really need to, in my opinion, listen to Judy Barrett's report. It was very revealing, I found. I think at that meeting the other night.
Now, it's all gonna be income-based,
Correct,
right?
correct.
So even if you have a $600,000 house and you sell it, the only part that's considered for this is any income generated from that asset that you have, like interest or whatever.
Under the current regulations, that's how it would work, correct.
So it's not the same as it is
Buying
If you're buying it, you're right, at all.
Correct.
Totally different situation.
Yeah, yeah. And I liked your point you just made about the difference between the deeply affordable units, 30 and 60% AMI, as compared to the 80% AMI.
Right.
It is a different product.
Totally different. And people, I think, are confusing that.
Well,
Because they've heard about the other.
Hmm.
And this is, the whole term, deeply, affordable, is a new term. And I was saying before the meeting started, I keep forgetting that word deeply myself. So, and it makes a big difference.
Would they all be just 3 rooms, like bedroom, living room, and kitchen?
I don't believe there's any architectural design yet.
No.
Yeah.
This,
So one of the examples that's nearby is Shirley Meadows. I don't know if you're familiar, it's on Hospital Road, near the Shirley Police Station and Little Shirley Library. That was just built within the last handful of years. They have somewhere around 60 units there. It's my concern with that site in particular, well, as a building, it's a lovely building, and it looks like it's well laid out, but there's no access to services. It's, yeah.
it's not a good location for it.
Not a top location, I mean,
Yeah.
not as good as, in my mind, as this one would be with
Yeah.
the senior, with the Shattuck Center nearby.
You might not be able to answer this one, but I know that we're proposing 2 articles, right? One is to have this building become surplus.
Mhm.
If that should pass, if we go forward and we do that, then are we obligated,
To dispose of it, no,
we'll have to do it then?
no, you don't
If
have
it's
to.
labeled surplus?
No, that gives, okay, so that one is Article 13.
Right.
That one requires a 2/3 vote, 2/3 majority to pass. So that one would allow the select board to actually issue the RFP to find out what responses
To
come
the
back.
other information.
Article 12, the special legislation, that happens first. That would allow the select board to file a request for a special act with the legislature. And that, I thought Tom did a pretty good job of explaining what that one would do. Just allows the town to not have to worry about the procurement and the construction regulations, well, not regulations, but construction, complying with those state guidelines on how you have to proceed on those. Instead of 2 competing sets of laws that are hard to both work with. And so with the special legislation, several communities have done special legislation to allow the procurement process to move forward.
So this is just our starting point, and that after this, then there will be other times for people to make further decisions.
Yes, it puts, so Article 12 gives the select board the authority to apply for the special legislation. Article 13 would give the select board to draft and actually issue the RFP. The select board has indicated that as they work towards drafting the RFP, they will be asking for community input on that.
I've found a lot of people who, right or wrong, feel that once they vote for this, if they approve it, it's a done deal.
Right, yeah.
And I virtually have been told I don't know what I'm talking about when I try to bring this up.
Yeah,
People, I've heard that too, and that's why that's not the case at all.
Right, that's why I asked.
And I was just gonna say point blank, this Article 13, declaring this a surplus building, if that's approved, that doesn't mean that they can do it. It still has to go back, doesn't it have to go back to town meeting for any further action other than just exploring, looking at the RFP? It gives them certain privileges, the town. But it doesn't give them the authority total to move forward without coming back to the town about it.
Any funding would have to come back to the town.
Right, right. So it's not like you're obligating any money with this vote.
Correct.
They're only obligating the possibility and the okay to proceed to investigate all of this. That's all that vote is.
Maybe you could read into the minutes what a yes vote would mean for a
And
surplus.
what a no vote would mean.
Oh, there we
Yeah.
go.
Can you,
You want me to go back to 12?
can you make it a little bigger?
For some reason I can't.
I can't see that well.
I don't know if Amber can do it on her side, but I can't
Oh, I
get rid
can
of.
see it over here, never mind.
I can't get rid of that participant bar. If Amber's listening, can you get rid of that participant bar?
If you end your screen share, will it allow you to do that?
So Article 12 is allowing to do the special legislation
You don't have any participant.
for
Right.
surplus building, and also to allow for a town hall to be built elsewhere.
Correct, without any funding attached to. either
With
of
no,
those.
yeah, no funding attached at that point.
Right, right. And so what town council has told us that it takes about a year to work through that special legislation process.
See, and I get hung up on.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I get hung up, I know I do personally, that, and I even put this in the Barcaster, I think in March, you know, the senior center, the center on Shattuck Street is done, essentially. We've accomplished that. And since, 2015, before that, when UMass did their study of the needs of seniors in Littleton.
I just found that yesterday.
It's, yeah, it's a wonderful study. And they reported then that we had this void in Littleton about rental properties for seniors. And we've done nothing about it all these years. And we have all these people that could qualify and that need it. And shame on Littleton for not doing anything. So that's kind of where I'm coming from. It's like years have gone by, 15 to 20 years since we've known about this, and we've done nothing.
And it
But
says
we
the-
had to wait. We couldn't do everything at once.
And it says the school-age population will
Oh.
decrease dramatically.
And the senior population is still increasing dramatically. And Judy Barrett alluded to that in her report the other night. So I don't, and, you know, the fact is that, I don't know, it's just, I just can't fathom that we have nothing in this town for these people. And they have to, even George Sanders admitted the other night, he's known a lot of people that moved out of town because they couldn't afford to stay here anymore. And that's what would happen. If I had to sell my house, I couldn't find a place to rent in this town to live here.
Yeah. We do have a small number of units but they're in high demand. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I made a mistake the other night when I said that there are no units in that range. There are some units. We can point to Mill Pond.
Yeah.
And we can appoint.
Isn't that a state place too, Mill Pond?
Federal.
Federal.
That's federal. Is Shattuck Street here, is that
That's state.
state? Okay.
Yeah.
Hatchburg is state subsidized.
But those are that's what we have. Yeah. And those are pretty well opened up to more people. I mean, I think the fact that we are going to get more places for Littleton residents, you know, the percentages are higher if we proceed and Littleton does something, you know. So I don't know, but that's just, it befuddles me to think that, and if we don't, it's going to take, they made it very clear, it's going to take 4 to 5 years.
That was my question. In the best possible light, everything goes forward.
Yeah.
When will this be available?
When can we do the ribbon cutting?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's gonna be probably over 4 years, 5 years.
I would think it won't take that long.
Yeah. And so
it
it's
has
like,
your feasibility study, architectural design, detailed site plan. You need the developer needs all those in hand to apply to the state for the low-income housing tax credits. That process takes at least 18 months. And then,
and then there's no obligation that says you have to do this just because of this vote that we're gonna have, to take in May. And that just starts the process, right? That's what I'm understanding.
But Maren, wouldn't that mean they would have, if that goes through, doesn't that mean that we have to get the town hall built before they can start working on this?
No,
start working on this. The idea is to, obviously, we would need a place to work.
That's right,
Exactly.
so,
Right, but any funding for a new building would go back to town meeting for a request.
there's more money.
No, there's no
No.
money request yet. We can't even talk to the
No.
developers about how
no,
much
it's
it would be.
not more money. It's all,
Until
no.
we start this process.
And we have, and this is the other piece, I think, that
But wait a minute.
we need
There's
to.
no, wait, there's no money yet. Will there be money 2 or 3 years down the line?
If the select board and finance committee, you know how town meeting works.
Right.
Right.
Doesn't get to town meeting floor unless the select board and finance committee
Right.
both see that it can work, it fits into our, overall bonding process. Yeah.
But isn't the town hall supposed to be built by the developer?
We would love to be able to start talking about that.
No, I know, you can't do it until these things happen. But isn't that a promise that's been made of some sort?
I don't think it's a promise,
know.
but there is a possibility.
Yes, there's a possibility.
Possibility,
Right
and
now, I can think of one developer that it would make a lot of sense for that developer to, build a town hall in exchange for the ability to do 40 or so deeply affordable senior units at this site. Because the benefits to that
and that to me,
developer would be pretty significant.
in 4 to 5 years down the road, that could be gone. That option could not be as readily available. So I struggle with it all myself, because I think,
Yeah. Yep.
you're talking about time
Mhm.
is of the essence in a way. Because originally, of deeply affordable housing was going to be the type of thing that was going to be addressed at the end of the construction that's going on 550 King Street. Originally, it was going to be toward the end of that whole process. And now they're saying no.
Hoping to draw it forward and,
Yeah. No questions?
No, I attended the meeting last week and.
You got it all figured out?
I wish. No.
I don't even,
Yeah, I
yeah,
know what I.
There just seems to be some people have a mistrust.
oh,
well,
Yeah.
a mistrust of
The history
all
of,
developers.
the history
Period.
of low income in Littleton, there seems to be a mistrust factor here. That if we go forward, how can the town guarantee that this will be what you're telling us it will truly be?
Mhm.
There's a bit of mistrust about that.
Mhm. And that's where it's up to individuals, residents to stay involved in the process as the select board drafts and issues the RFP. This is what we want, this is what we're asking for. Have that in the RFP so that can be in a contract, should a contract move forward. Yeah.
So they would have the power to ensure that that's what you want.
Mhm. When it's talk about development, when it's talk about
I
real
know.
estate, there is a lot of mistrust. There's so much money involved. We have to get the details right.
Right.
There's also a lot of uncertainty right now in the market.
I would hate to lose the current market where funding is available for construction. Get 2, 3, 4 more years behind this. So to us, Article 12 is the 50% vote needed and extremely important. Article 13.
It's a majority.
It is majority.
It
correct.
is.
And the key, I mean, in this case, for these articles, everything is within the levy. I mean, that's
Right,
been said.
no funding attached to these, right?
Right. And that's been clearly said publicly.
Yeah, right.
I've heard that said.
Yeah, Jim is asking, has stated that if it moves forward, if funding is needed for town hall space, whatever you want to call it, the fit up of a new building, then the goal is to have that within the levy.
Yeah.
So it's, of course, taxpayer dollars for that.
Blew me away too when he was talking at one point Wednesday night. I forget who was at the asking questions, but the comment was made. Jim made it that right now, 55 King Street is valued at $38 million, but when everything is all completed, when it's fully built up in the 10 years or whatever it's going to take, it's going to be worth $250 million to the town of Littleton as well. I mean, it's a tax, revenue thing for us. So, and this is just maybe part of it because the owner of 550 King Street he doesn't have the experience, and he has to have a contractor, as Mary even said, that has the experience of building something like this.
Right,
And the contractor, Sal Lupoli, has admitted, I don't have that experience.
right. The state will require not only an experienced low-income housing developer, but a management plan for
Right.
that property that extends over a long period of time. So we won't see happen what has happened at other places with the rents not being able to support long-term maintenance at a site.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Any other questions? Mary, any questions for anybody in the audience? Mary Picard is a guest here, and
I'm just listening.
you're listening. No comments. You don't want to ask a question? You're welcome to.
No, I'm just listening.
Okay. Well, I just want to make sure. I wish we had a phone where people could call in if there's anybody watching and had a question. 'Cause people don't understand this at all, and I still struggle with it. It is complex, and I've said this time and time again to this board, and that's why I wanted somebody here again to help us understand it
Yeah.
and wrap our heads around it, so that we can make an intelligent vote. Come to a conclusion anyway.
That's fair.
Nobody has any other questions for her, for Maren?
Just a comment that I've been hearing, I've been asking people my age and people younger than me, what's the right thing to do? And I've been getting basically the same thing as Jean said in the very beginning. It's too much right now. It's just too much and too uncertainty. I didn't get a lot of positive feedback on it when I was talking over the weekend to, 10 or 12 different people my age and some a lot younger than me, just to see which way you're going. And I, honestly, being at that meeting the other night, I didn't think that meeting came out to be very positive.
You're absolutely right. One thing I liked about having the consultants there was Tony, the very quiet one, turned to me afterward and said, you realize that was either 3 or 4 people out of everybody present that stood up and spoke against the proposal. Everybody else was there just to gather information.
Information, right.
So that was on us for not setting it up very well. So I apologize for that, but well.
No, I'm not blaming you.
No, I
My
just kinda how it
feeling
turned
of
out.
that meeting was very informative. I'm
Mhm.
not saying that at all. All the people that spoke had good things to say, and I just don't think that the audience was on your side.
No, No, unfortunately, yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's,
And that scares me for going to town meeting, because that was a group of what, 25, maybe 30 people total? And then you get 300, say 400 people at town meeting who are interested in Shaker Lane.
That's it.
And they're not even thinking about this, and I really worry that this is not gonna go anywhere.
If it doesn't go anywhere in May, will it be revisited?
if the residents do a good job, enough job of keeping it lifted up and in the limelight.
See, that's my concern. What happens and how many years does it get postponed again if it doesn't get started? If we can't even come to a point where it gets just off the ground enough to be able to start the process.
Yeah, to me, one of the most important things we get out of a town meeting are the discussions that lead up to and on town meeting floor. You know, we hear from the town meeting voters, you know, their concerns, their questions. Hopefully, we've answered a lot of the questions beforehand, and we get to reiterate, you know, what we know and where we are and what we're trying to do. So,
Will you be doing a presentation at town meeting?
there will be a presentation at town meeting, yeah. Yeah. And I-
Is this Wednesday candidates' night?
It's something, well, there's something tonight at the Sturts Room, but I don't remember what it was.
Yes, it's the apple orchard.
Oh, they've chopped down all the trees.
They were going
In
to?
Maryland, they were taking out the trees that were.
Yeah,
were,
they were supposed to do
places.
But
that.
I went by it yesterday and said, the trees are gone.
It is very visually
Yeah.
stunning, but that's all part of the process
Yeah.
that they do.
I know, it's just-
You're right. It's, you know, change is difficult.
It's just because they were so beautiful at this time of year when they start to bloom, we're not gonna have that beauty.
On that one portion.
Right, yeah,
Right.
Yeah,
but it was just a shock.
yeah, yeah, they weren't healthy trees, so.
No.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you
I
very
don't know
much.
how
As questions come up, let us know what they are. Have developed the FAQ, frequently asked questions, off the planning board page for this site, and we're trying to, you know, get the information, make the information available, so.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. Any other discussion? No?
I move the COA board support Articles 12 and 13 at the town meeting on May 6th.
Any further discussion?
I second that. I'll second that.
Thank you. Okay, Sue made the motion and Mary Ann seconded it, that we support Articles 12 and 13 at town meeting. No further discussion? No? All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
I'll abstain.
One abstention. Is that bad? And everyone else, it's in favor, is in favor. Is correct? Am I correct in that? All right,
Yes.
so be it.
Moving on.
Moving on.
Thank you very
can
much.
pass that word along. Okay, reports. We had our staff sitting here waiting patiently, so.
Right.
What's all the good news, Liz? It's getting very close to May 16th.
I know the Friends aren't here for their meeting, but they did send in 50 leaves to be engraved for their tree.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
They've got 50?
50. Yes.
Thought we were shooting for the first 25.
It sounds like their appeal, their letter that went out, their annual appeal was pretty successful. And a lot of leaf donations came in from that, so I believe they've paid for the cost of the tree and the engraving and are now
That's
generating.
exciting, and I'm so happy for them.
Will
I
they-
really am. They've
will
really,
it be up
yeah,
on the 16th?
Yes.
that is really nice.
Andy sent in the first 50 names on Saturday. So
Wow.
if you've sent in a leaf after Friday of last week, you will probably not see it at the ribbon cutting, but we'll send them in 25 at a time on a rolling basis.
Wonderful.
That's great.
Great news. Congratulations, friends.
Yes.
Yes. They've worked hard on that.
All right. We're going to the director's report.
Mhm.
Let me share my screen.
Record breaking.
Oh my gosh. All right. Baby's hustling out of here.
Hurry.
Okay, let's see. Here are our stats. I wish I could make this bigger. That is not what my screen looks like when I'm sharing my screen. Amber, are you in there? Can you help me? I'd love for that participant bar to go away so we can fill up more screen. But anywho,
She's
we
closing
had.
it.
Oh,
Yay.
yay!
Yay, thank you.
Thank you, Amber. I'm going to zoom in a little more just
Whoa,
so
look at the
everyone
sign-ins.
can see this number. It's the highest number we have ever,
Oh, my gosh.
ever had.
They're anticipating that new building.
That's exactly it.
Oh, my gosh.
And Megan's working very hard.
Megan Murphy, is our new program coordinator, is just blowing it out of the water. She is incredible.
Yes.
Not only is she planning the programs, setting them up, organizing them, submitting for payment, she's attending them, getting the excitement going.
And you know what?
It's amazing.
She welcomes.
Yes.
Because I heard about a group I thought would be fun to have here. And I called her and told her about it and who to contact, and she welcomes that kind of
Yes,
input.
yes.
Absolutely. She loves it. She loves to hear about new things from
Yes.
people who are participating.
Yes.
From January to March, that's a 50% increase. And of course,
It's just amazing.
we didn't capture every single person who walked in the door either.
No,
so
no.
I'm sure it's a smidge higher than that. But
How are we gonna train people to sign in too when they come into the new building? That's gonna be a challenge to remind them. They gotta
It
go to
is.
that little computer or whatever it is.
yeah, to
Kiosk
check
at
it.
the end of the door.
I'm sure for at least first year, we're going to be
Right.
walking around with our paper list still, just making sure.
That's all right, it'll come.
Yeah, it's going to be a learning curve. I was going to ask my senior center who does the kiosk and the sign-in to actually be there on the ribbon cutting day to help people sign up for their key tags. 'Cause the owner of that company actually lives in Acton, and he's a local friend.
Look at that, everything went up.
Everything.
Every single thing.
Yeah,
Increased.
for this fiscal year, our highest under 60 outreach.
Unreal.
Highest unduplicated number for under 60 outreach,
Over 60.
or well, second highest. But yeah, it's busy.
My craft class, I've got at least 3 people that the last 2 times have come that had never come before.
Mhm.
And one lady said she just moved in and just wanted to be there. I mean, we're gaining people.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I
It's going to be hard to run a 20 limit
Mhm.
class, but
A lot of our programs filled up on April 1st.
They do.
That one registration day. And I think we had so many people calling in and all staff were signing people up on the computer. I think we ended up with some glitches because we're all in the same database at the same time.
oh,
Might have maxed it out. But yeah, April 1st, we filled up on a lot of things
yes,
right
you did. I
away.
remember that, yeah.
Yeah.
I was late.
Yeah.
Because I was late.
Incredible though.
It is incredible.
My staff is
And
incredible
you're not even in the
for
building
handling
yet.
this.
You're not
I
even
know.
there yet. This is just,
And the last program that Megan did last week, on April 19th.
Oh, yeah, it was
That
unbelievable.
was the best of that type that we've had.
April
Wasn't
9th.
she great?
Which one is that?
19th, it hasn't happened yet.
we had,
It was Abigail, but I don't remember.
Oh, yeah.
It was
I missed
fantastic,
that. I
and I
missed it.
did tell her.
Good.
Yes, we
I
did.
said, that was the best one I've seen yet.
Even the exercise classes.
Oh.
Before I came here, I was at chair yoga, and we literally don't think we could have put another chair in there. Today we had, people just keep coming and coming.
Well, and
On
I-
that note, we are, so our Tai Chi class has reached critical mass, so we're dividing it into beginner and advanced, one at 9 a.m., one at 10 a.m., to try to alleviate the space in the room. So we haven't set a start date for that. We're still talking about it. Same with chair yoga, looking into setting up a second, either a second chair yoga class or another type of yoga, just to add to our repertoire of things that we're offering. But whew,
It is amazing,
exciting.
just amazing.
And we all love it. That's
Good. Keep you busy, keep you out of trouble.
Yeah, that's it.
Our ribbon cutting ceremony, we all know, by now is the 16th at 1, May 16th at 1. Just put in the order for the tent in the parking lot and chairs. Going to have a company do that for us, so we're not out there scrambling and running around. I'm trying to do that. Podium, I have the extra large scissors in my office, ready to go. I'm going to make sure they're sharpened. But it will be a very busy day, and we have a couple of different things planned between having little showcases throughout the rooms and having a COA ambassador in each room to explain what's going on or what are the features of this room. So I would like if everyone who is attending would like to be a COA ambassador of the building on that date, to send me an email, CC Amy on it. I'll assign you a room kind of based on what I know your interests are. Give you a list of bullet points about that room that I want you to point out to people as they come in. So say, Marge, you would be right there in the entryway greeting people, saying this way is a multipurpose room, this is the reception area. Mary Ann Peachy, you could be upstairs in program room 2, and you would have your bullet points.
I'll be in the gym.
You'll be in the gym. Everyone's just gonna watch you sweating it out.
That room with all that equipment, yeah.
I want to see you in your tights.
I'm actually, so for the gym, I'm gonna see if the fitness equipment vendor will be there, and if he cannot, Carol Lang was,
Oh, yeah, that would be
has
awesome.
offered to help.
She'd be great in there.
Carol,
Yeah. For the kitchen, Gail Dalton
Oh,
from
yeah.
Meals on Wheels will be there with her supervisor from Minuteman.
Nice.
Describing Meals on Wheels, the benefits of the program, and all the features of our new kitchen. So I'd like to have somebody assigned to each room.
I would love to do that.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think staff are going to be kind of like running around troubleshooting
sure.
things, and if I
Right.
could rely on the board to have
For sure.
spots. And I spoke.
Sign us up. Thank you.
Yeah, you can sign me up now,
Okay. The
for whatever
friends-
room you want me in.
I will put you on the
Yeah, and
list.
catch Joe.
Yes, I'll make sure Joe has a room as well.
Yeah.
I've asked Andy and Charlie from the Friends to stand by the tree with some extra donation
Nice.
forms and kind of explain how the tree came to be.
For
If you
sure.
want your name on, here's the donation form.
They talked about that at their meeting, that they thought that that was a good idea.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, I'd love to have everyone involved. And we'll showcase the building.
Yeah.
It's gonna be, who's gonna be there for all the bigwigs and politicians?
Senator Eldridge, yep, Representative Arciero, the CEO of Commodore Builders,
Right.
CEO of Vertex, Marge Paynes, the the chairman of the COA board, will be giving a speech, I'm sure.
Well, that's one thing about me, as I get older, I talk more. I used to be quiet and shy, but I'm not so quiet and shy anymore.
Great. Came out of your shell, Mark.
Hey, God, time is flitting by. I have to catch everything.
Okay, so is everybody in this room going to be there and doesn't
Yes.
mind?
Yes.
All right, then,
Yes,
all right.
yes.
Sign me up.
And I'm just gonna
Sign
go
us up.
ahead.
Yes.
I wasn't sure if everyone was gonna be here on that date or if anyone was traveling.
I'm planning.
Sign
on
us
it.
up.
I plan to be
I
there.
wouldn't miss it.
Okay.
You know,
Oh, all right, we have a planning meeting, the staff, just a logistical planning meeting this week, so we'll
You
start.
guys, you've done a great job. You have.
Question,
Yes.
when if we clean out our closets,
Mhm.
and the stuff is waiting to be moved,
Oh,
where
Anita,
can we put it?
nowhere yet. Leave it in the closets.
You talking about your craft closet?
Yeah, I'm gonna clean it out,
Do you mind passing
hopefully
this?
this week. And we need a place to,
Just keep it in there.
I think I have plenty. if you want to take two, yeah.
Wow.
I'm just passing around something that's the last on my list for today.
Oh, yeah, I don't know
Yes.
if I want to see this. Gee.
So what's going on around right now? So moving on from ribbon cutting. The Executive Office of Aging and Independence, formerly known as EOEA, Elder Affairs, sent out some information and fact sheets to all COA directors about federal funding cuts and how that's going to be impacting us potentially. So far, COAs are okay. There hasn't been any discussion about reducing our formula grant funding. We're still waiting on the second half of our formula grant funding, but they said we should receive that in May. That's about $17,000 for us. If we didn't get it, we would still be able to function. We'd be okay. But we do rely on formula grant funding every year to pay for all of our fitness instructors. We do have a little bit of a reserve in case we don't, so we're gonna be okay if it ever did lessen, but they're actually advocating for more formula grant funding. So, but where the actual impacts are hitting hard is the state home care programs, and that's what Minuteman Senior Services provides to our community. So unfortunately, beginning on March 1st, one of the programs that they offer is called the Enhanced Community Options Program, got frozen with a wait list and the instruction to cut back 20%. So those folks receiving services are nursing home eligible, living in the community, not eligible for Mass Health. So, for example, someone living on like a teacher's pension who's just over the monthly income for Mass Health and has some assets saved in the bank, could be like, $15,000 emergency fund, they would not qualify. But they would qualify for Enhanced Community Care Options Program. So that is unfortunately frozen at the moment with reductions happening. This fact sheet that Aging and Independence sent around kind of outlines other things that would be potentially impacted if more federal cuts come through. Meals on Wheels is a big one. Nursing Home Ombudsman Program, Money Management Program, Protective Services, our Shine Counselor, training and leadership. A lot of things, unfortunately.
Is that all state or federal?
So these are,
Federal cuts.
yeah,
Federal.
kind of state-run but receive federal funds.
Okay.
So I just wanted you to have the impact sheet from Elder Affairs. And the second handout is just the benefits of Meals on Wheels, because we know how important that is to our community. We serve over 7,000 out of our kitchen every year. Yeah, it's more than just a meal. It's a check-in, it's socialization, it's so important. But I know the governor has put in $60 million for the supplemental budget to keep Meals on Wheels running. And fingers crossed, everything will be fine. But there is a meeting tomorrow with the executive director from Minuteman Senior Services with our legislators. She put together a town hall meeting with the stakeholders to give some more updates. So I don't know if she has additional information or what will happen, but I will keep you all informed of what comes from that meeting. It's a funding impact update. Any questions about that? It's kind of a lot of information, but kind of everything is at risk.
Well, it is true, and that contributes to everything.
Yeah.
People are on edge. I mean, and there's no question
And one
about
of the
that.
comments I have from them is that 20,000 employees were reduced at Health and Human Services with delays in funding. That was something I got from the Minuteman board meeting. They also said that Shine is federally funded and Medicare eligible, and that still is okay, but they're not sure for how long. And they talked about Meals on Wheels.
Yep.
And how much it costs them and what people are paying. And that could also be a major problem, because they said it costs $12 per meal to prepare the meal, and the donation is $2, and they don't, for many reasons, they don't receive the $2 from many, many people.
Really?
It's a suggested donation.
Donation.
Yeah, it's considered a donation rather than anything else.
It's not a
And-
charge.
Well, some people couldn't afford it.
Right, right.
Couldn't, I mean, you figure that could be $10 a week, and maybe they don't have that $10 a week.
Hey, if we get that 265 people in this town that have an income of less,
Think about that.
that's pretty, and that's really pretty low
Oh, yeah.
to get along. Just, I can't imagine trying to live on that.
Yeah.
I just can't.
So you can see why, there are people that can't afford that $2. I
And
mean,
people
that's-
don't realize that there's that many people in this town, because the town looks so affluent, really.
Try to go to the Market Basket
Oh, yeah,
or wherever you choose to shop. Yeah.
yeah.
So my last comment on this, we had a staff meeting this morning and we were talking about how the COAs are secure at this moment, but there was a lot of traffic on 495 last week, and we all had to drive home back roads to get to our various towns, and just the amount of signs in people's yards, like save the senior center, save the library, save the Parks and Rec. It's really hard out there for a lot of towns, having to cut back COAs, senior services, and I think we're really fortunate in this town that I think the town knows the value of our department and knows that we're an essential service, and we've
Well, it's
never.
not just COA, you
Yeah.
service the whole town,
True.
and that makes a big difference.
Yeah.
I think.
I think,
Well, I noticed there was an increase. Is that, no, they're not updated, but there was an increase in the under
60.
60 population
Yeah.
that reached out to you people this.
Yeah. I don't think every town
Does that?
values or appreciates
No.
their,
No, they don't.
as
No.
much as this
No.
one does.
No, I mean, we are so fortunate in this town to have you, yes.
That's all for me.
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
It's always exciting and good, except I'm not surprised, I guess. We have to, because of everything that's going on. And it is scary. I don't even like to listen to the news. It's like,
La, 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 la.
yeah.
Liz, besides the ribbon cuttings day, do you need help with anything else before the 16th?
Moving
At the moment,
stuff
no.
that day, when you're moving things, you don't want help?
At the moment, no, we're all set. We're all good.
Oh, good.
Remember where we are if you need something.
Yes, you have all of our phone numbers, don't
Yes.
you?
I have your phone numbers. I see most of you
Okay.
weekly.
Weekly, daily, whatever, yes.
Yep, absolutely. Honestly, Amy and I last week were going through the room, seeing what's going. There's nothing really, no big things are coming over. Most of it is our files, and a lot of it is program supplies.
Yeah, because
And I don't want
you're
anyone
getting everything
lifting.
new. I mean, you don't have desks and everything
Yeah.
is new that's going
Yeah.
in. I would imagine even computers must be,
Yeah.
all of that. So,
Everything is new. Yeah. Which we can't wait for, because we have the oldest computers in the building. 'Cause they keep,
The children's room does.
oh, it does. They keep putting us off, because, you're going to get some new ones when you move. But all good.
and the word is out that it is quite lovely building and high-end building. What's the word for it? Yeah, I think the word is out. That's why
Aesthetically
people,
and
everything.
all that.
Yes.
Oh, Brian Force thinks the building is absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah. We
Yes,
walked.
he mentioned it the other night.
Oh, he thinks the building's phenomenal, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gary Wilson, one of the select board members, walked through with Amy and I last week, kind of an impromptu walkthrough, and he was quite impressed.
George loves it.
Oh,
George says it's the best building in town.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
He's
does.
told us all
Every
many
time you
times.
see him, he says it's the best building in town. He loves it.
Well, I had services of the nurse that now does toenails, for,
Book care nurse.
yeah, what's her first name?
Christine,
Christine. She's lovely.
so
And
nice.
I'm telling you, I must say to anybody, it is a wonderful thing. I came up, I spent half an hour with her. Yeah, I used to pay a podiatrist, and you go in and you're in and out in 10 minutes, and they do
Zip zap.
nothing.
Yeah, zip
Oh
zap.
my goodness, it was just so wonderful. Not only cutting your nails and trimming them and all of that, but she washes them, your foot, and massages it, puts lotion on it. It's just so wonderful. You can really treat yourselves. I'm telling you.
This is sounding better and better.
Oh my gosh, I'm shocked. And she's so nice.
Yes, so
and to
nice.
boot.
I'll second that.
Yes.
I've known her for a long time.
Oh my gosh, she even participates in activities here. She was telling me that today. She's wonderful. So we're lucky to have her. Yes. But for anybody out there, you know, and people just don't. I was shocked at Wednesday night's presentation when people said, you know, oh, there's nothing in the broadcast about. Oh boy, that got to me.
I saw your faces.
Oh, oh, did I speak up quickly? Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I did. I could not resist. I spoke up.
We all looked at.
But I had to go up to Sue and say, I've been taken off the mailing. So I talked to Sue. I said for 3 months, and someone else was longer than that. And Sue said, I said, I got it early enough that I got it at the Congregational Church.
What? No, what?
The broadcaster.
Oh,
Yeah, because some people got dropped off the list, so they didn't
Oh.
know.
Yeah.
They
If it
didn't
wasn't
notice
for
on
the Liz's note that says it's there, and I hate reading it on the computer.
oh, so, and that brings me to the town's newsletter. Oh, it's after
Yeah.
4 already. But that town's newsletter, please,
Oh,
there's
it's
good
very
information.
informative.
Yes,
It
you get
is.
a lot of information
Full
in
of
that.
information.
So, and I hope everyone, people that are watching, know that, you know, you can access that on the town website, and it's like pretty long, too, if you have to print it yourself.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
there
we
are
should let-
some copies.
Yeah.
They do some hard print.
Yeah.
Some copies.
You should let Amy talk. 'cause
Yes, Amy
She's
can
gonna
do
have to leave.
She's
Yeah.
got.
Oh, I got a report.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to not get you up here fast, and I just looked at the clock, so I should have known then.
Wow.
You got, oh my, I apologize. Amy.
That's okay. That's all right.
No, it's not okay, but anyway.
So I just wanted to just let a few folks know, or well, let everybody know that on April 30th, we'll apply for fuel assistance for the 2024-25 season. So April 30th, if you need help with applying, you need to contact Alicia or myself to come in and we'll help you through that process. But April 30th is the last day. The other thing I want to mention is that the small grant program is still going on. We are actively accepting applications for that. We've had 3 go through the process and be approved by the Affordable Housing Trust. So if you are interested in looking into that program, please contact me directly. And I'm happy to walk you through the steps and talk to you about the eligibility criteria. Again, this is a program that is meant to help folks with critical home repair or adaptations to maintain safe living in their in assistance towards those types of projects. So contact me directly and I'm happy to walk you through the process and explore eligibility. The other thing that I wanted to bring up in the same email when Liz got the information about some of the other federal funding cuts, there was an announcement about the SNAP benefits or your EBT card being that the vendor's changing and that the card may not work on April 26th, beginning at 11 p.m. So don't freak out if you use it on that day and it doesn't work, because it's just because they're in the process of switching vendors, so you want to go the day before, or you want to wait until later in the day on the 27th, which is when the benefits will be reactivated with the other provider through that EBT card. So just wanted to, no cause for alarm. It will be back up and running shortly after. Okay. Those are my big ones. So.
That's great. Thank you, Amy.
Thank you, Amy. I feel so bad again. I'm so sorry. No, it isn't really, but anyway. I know, but.
I move that we accept the directors and the assistant directors' reports as read.
Thank you. Any second, Mary seconded? Any,
Who seconded?
Mary?
Thank you.
You're welcome. So, okay, any other questions for you? Any discussion? No?
Thank you, Amy.
Yes, Amy. Poor Amy. All those in favor of accepting both reports? Okay, I think that was unanimous, but just in case, anybody opposing or abstaining? And I I was a yes, too, so that was a unanimous vote, thank you. So, all right. Any other board member updates? You've given some from your...
Did from.
Yes,
yeah.
you have, I noticed that.
Because that's-
Do you have any from affordable housing?
Very, excuse me, very briefly, yes. I had notes somewhere, but anyway, Amy mentioned the small grant program, and that there's been 3 approved. Also, the Affordable Housing Trust now has a signed agreement with Habitat for Humanity for the property at 87 Tehadawin, and that will be a duplex unit, a duplex building. One unit is a family unit, and the other unit is will be for a senior, and it will be universal design and all of that. So that has gotten to the starting page, thank heavens. Then the other major project for Affordable Housing Trust is the Durkee farmhouse and property. And we have had a consultant from Mass Housing Partnership work with the trust to develop an RFP. We've had 3 meetings, I believe, with her, and the project is extremely confusing. There's right now at least 4 different options available, and we need to do some more study on it to decide what's going to be done. I won't run through all the options because we haven't chosen one. And I guess that's about it.
Well, that was quick.
I tried.
And I have something that just popped into my head because I was thinking about today, and for some reason I missed it myself, and I'm going to ask the board to reconsider the March 10th minutes because we did not put Jim Duggan down as being our guest, and I think it should be in the minutes from that meeting.
What was that? I'm
The
sorry.
March 10th minutes.
Yeah.
I just thought to look, and I missed it myself until now.
Uh-huh.
We did not note that Jim Duggan was
Yep.
present at that meeting. And Maren was here too, actually, that day.
Mhm.
So both of them should be listed as guests for our meeting that day. And so we have another change, and I'm going to ask you to accept that and vote for that, making that change. And make sure that we get Maren in the minutes for today.
And that Maren for
Yes,
today.
right.
Yes, yes. So,
Oh, that's
Okay.
good.
yeah, I don't
I'll
know how, we all missed it, so.
Yeah.
I'll make that motion.
And I'll second
Yeah,
that.
and I
Okay.
missed it because when I followed the agenda.
Right, there's no, yeah,
There's
guests.
no place for
We
guests,
should
but
have, maybe stick this thing in there, guests.
That's okay. I can stick that back.
All right, we have a motion on the floor to accept the March 10th, a motion from Anita and seconded by Marilyn, to modify the March 10th minutes to add Jim Duggan and Maren Toohill as guests.
Yes.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions, just in case? Okay. All right, that's done. Thank you. I'm sorry that I missed it too, because I read the minutes before I send them out to you, but,
And I read them at home.
well, that's,
I
yeah.
think we all did.
Yeah. We just weren't thinking,
Okay.
so much going on. All right. So, we've covered everything, I think. Any other updates from board members? And I think I just wanted to echo your comments about Megan and make sure has not been here, what, 3 months, 4 months now? Not long.
She start
I don't know.
October, I think.
Oh, was it October? Right, but she's done a great job.
Late in October.
Yeah.
She's super.
Yeah, so,
She has so much energy.
yeah, so let her know we appreciate her.
Yes, for sure.
Okay. And we know we're gonna get called upon for new tasks to help as things come up, whenever you need us. Even if it's just 1 or 2 of us or whatever, help out, and I'm sure there are other seniors that would like to volunteer to be helpful that day.
Yes.
So, if you have anything, put it out there for people.
I will.
Okay, any other business? Anybody?
I can't wait till the 16th.
You can't wait until the 16th?
Yeah,
I haven't been,
because-
I know.
Because even when I was first moving to Littleton, this was in 98.
It's been an issue.
The broker was telling me how they wanted a senior center and that there was going to be something coming up that fall at town meeting, which of course,
What year was that?
98.
98, so. yeah,
So
it's
think
been
about
30
it.
years.
That's 27 years that I know of.
Well, that's why
Yeah.
I am so passionate about the affordable, deeply affordable housing, because it's been a long time since UMass did that study and identified that need, you know, so. Anyway, we're getting there, folks.
You know it.
We know it, we know it. And it is exciting. And that senior center is a huge, huge step, and it's so beautiful and so well done, too.
And George says, and I kind of groan, that the next best one is going to be Indian Hill.
Oh,
That's
Really?
what George says.
yeah. That'll be wrecking parking in the school department. Yeah.
When are they gonna move? Do you know?
School. Well, they're not sure exactly. The school can move over the summer. Park and Rec, that is their busy season.
Oh, big time.
So they're trying to work on
With their program
when
for the summer.
they
Best
both can get moved, so that, you know, the moving.
They're
Coordinate.
not doing anything with the Easter eggs or this year. Are they doing
Oh,
a
the
breakfast
breakfast.
at all?
I don't, I
Well,
have
it
not
started
heard.
out, there was some talk about the library was gonna do one.
Yeah, the
so-
library's gonna have a bunny.
So that's why they,
Yeah, Tim told me when I called, I said, how come I'm not doing eggs? And he said, because the library's doing a bunny, we can't have two
yeah,
bunnies. So he said, we're not doing a bunny.
yeah.
But he
That's-
didn't have any information about whether there was a breakfast with a bunny
Yeah.
anywhere.
No.
Because we did
Everything
that
I've
last
read,
year.
Yeah.
With the Park and Rec, there's been no mention of it.
They're not doing one.
No.
But there's that big celebration at Fay Park that day,
Ah.
so maybe they're all going over.
I don't know.
What's the celebration in Fay Park?
For the 250th
Oh,
anniversary.
Yeah.
A bicentennial.
Oh, that's right.
Centennial.
Yeah. That's this weekend.
Yeah, Saturday.
All right.
Hmm?
I said okey doke.
Everybody set?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm good.
I will
I
entertain.
move that we adjourn at 4:22 PM. That's what it looks like from here to.
4:17.
Hmm?
4:17.
Oh, I was
technically.
looking at that one.
Okay.
I'll second
Take your
that.
pick.
Yeah.
We have a motion on the floor,
I'll
made by
second.
Marilyn and seconded by Anita to adjourn the meeting at this moment. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I think that's unanimous. Anybody opposed to that? Abstaining? No? Okay, good, we're good to go. It was
Anita, you want to
unanimous.
say something?
Thank you.